So, I wanted to do a video blog post, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, about about having one hand, pretty much. A lot of people don't even know that I have one hand, which is hilarious because, I don't know, it's not that funny. But it's one of those things where I thought, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so, like, open, and that's something I'm totally over, and, like, I don't even care about having one hand anymore. Like, I'm over it, like, I have grown and moved past that point in my life. I am a confident mother, business owner, partner, dog owner. I have my own apartment, so things are going pretty good. But I went to a business retreat with Carly from the 10K Girl Gang, and it was so freaking awesome. We went to Malibu, and it was so fun, and we just had the best time ever. Like, it was so chill. I'm Malibu, Miami. We went to Miami, and we just sat on the beach and chilled, and it was so fucking awesome. Oh my gosh, I literally lied on the beach and listened to my audiobook like most of the time, and we ate really great food, and it was all paid for by Carly, and it was like probably the best week ever. And I was away from my son. Oh my gosh, there was a whole that I could do a whole other post talk on that. Anyway, right when I got there, I walked in. It was the first time we saw each other in real life, and Carly had no idea I had one hand, and neither did any of the other girls I worked with. And it's not a big deal. I was a little self-conscious because I'm always a little self-conscious at first with those things, but then I realized, I was like, oh my god, like, wait, they're so cool. They didn't even care. Obviously, they didn't even, like, it wasn't even a thing. They were just like, whoa, like Carly was like, I had no idea you had one hand. And I was like, yeah, I mean, how would you? We're on video chat, and like, it's not like it's something I talk about or post about or share about or anything about. And that's, fine. I totally get where I was coming from. Where I'm like, oh, I don't need to talk about this because this is something that I've moved past. This is something that I've grown past, and this is something that doesn't affect me anymore. I had made a short film, like, this was something I was self-conscious about my whole freaking life. Like, I wore sweatshirts when I was little just to kind of hide my hand. Not because I'm so afraid, like, I'm so self-conscious about having one hand, because I don't really think me having one hand has impacted my life, like, so greatly and so crazy that I am, like, I don't know, like, even how to explain it. Like, it's not like it's monumentally changed me and made me a better person or a worse person or this or that. I mean, maybe it's made me a better person. Maybe I'm a little bit more compassionate. But overall, I don't really think, like, it's, like, totally changed my life. I mean, that's probably not true. It probably has changed my life in a lot of ways. But, like, you kind of get what I'm saying, where it's not something that I'm thinking about all the time. When I was younger, I was thinking about it a lot. I was really self-conscious about it, but only because of other people's reactions. Like, sometimes people would look at me and be like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, she has one hand. And I don't know what they're thinking, like, based on their facial expressions. Like, they usually look pretty freaked out or uncomfortable or scared. So little me was like, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, they're gonna think I'm mentally challenged too. They're gonna think that I'm not all there. They're gonna think that I'm not capable. They're gonna think, like, I don't know why I had this, like, deep set fear that somebody was gonna think that I was mentally challenged and that I wasn't capable, like, in my mind, because I physically had one hand. And I don't know where I got that idea, but that was an idea I had for a really, really long time. And then I came to this place where I was like, okay, so it's totally fine if I have one hand. I can totally feel not self-conscious, the opposite, confident about that, but only to people that really know me, that already have met me, known me for a while, realized I'm a good business person, like a good mom, like good whatever, this, that, smart human, smart individual, like, then I'm validated. Then they've already, met me. They don't have to worry, like, because other people are so concerned with me, right, that with me having one hand, that it's affecting their lives. But then they don't have to worry about me being mentally challenged. And I don't know, that was something I was really self-conscious about for a really long time. And I'm still pretty self-conscious about having one hand, I think. I don't know, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, and we're always growing. But I saw my friend Cole who's also an artist, and he makes incredible artwork. And he posted this video while I was in Miami too. It was so funny because I was in Miami. I just met all these really fucking awesome people that I never got to meet before, and they were saying how, like, they didn't know that I had one hand, and you know, that was that. But then I saw this picture of this girl, and she was this beautiful model. She was just so stunning, and she had one hand, and like her other hand was missing a few fingers, and she had one prosthetic leg. And when I say, like, she was probably the most beautiful person, like, I've literally ever seen, I didn't look at her and for one second think any of the things that I get insecure about when I think about my own insecurities. You know, I didn't see that. I just saw her and I was like, wow, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. And she's so confident. And she's just putting herself out there like that. And, like, everyone's loving her. Like, she had so many followers and she was so confident in herself and she was just so beautiful. And I was honestly just, like, taken aback. I was really, like, it really made me see myself from a different perspective. It really made me see myself and be like, oh my gosh, like, you're beautiful. Like, you're absolutely stunning, Hannah. Like, you don't really need to give a fuck about what other people think. Because if they're, like, gonna see you, they're gonna see that you're a good person, that you're a smart person, that you're, you know, and even if they were to think, what worst fear came to life, what if they thought I was mentally challenged? You know, what's the worst thing that would happen? I don't know. What would happen? Like, I don't know. I was so inspired earlier today by the Sabotage Queen just talking about, she's on Instagram, the Sabotage Queen, about how she, and the girl who I was talking about who has one leg and one arm. I'm going to find her Instagram because now I'm obsessed with her and I think she's freaking amazing and I think you all should follow her. Her name is Phoenix Soul. Lyric Maria. She's so pretty. I'm totally obsessed with her. But her name is Phoenix Soul on Instagram. That's PHENIXSOUL. And she's so pretty and she really just made me want to be like so much more out there with who I am. So much more out there about all the things that I could even be slightly insecure about. Like everything. You know? Like I don't want to just be playing it safe, like having anxiety about, you know, what people think of me because of this or that, or all the little things that I'm afraid of. Like, I'm afraid I'm not going to seem professional enough if people know that I, like, smoke weed. Or I'm not going to, like, just saying that, like, I thought in my head, like, 10,000 times before I said that right now. Like, oh my gosh, should I say that? Like, what if nobody wants to book with me? What if I get no clients? Like, but then I think about, like, when I was able to see that those people posting, like the Sabotage Queen posting about, like, how she got high and, like, still did all this business stuff and, like, sabotaged herself the night before and stayed up late and, like, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, I did that. And here I am presenting. And, like, maybe people are going to ask me for a refund and it's going to suck, but, like, who cares? Whatever. I was like, I want to be like that. Like, I want to have that freedom. I want to have the freedom of actually not giving a single shit. Like, my sister is so good at that. She just is so her. She just owns every single freaking part of her. And she doesn't give a single shit. Like, she's just like, this is me. This is who I am. Love it or hate it. I don't fucking care. Like, she's gotten fired from so many jobs. And it's just like, it's hilarious. And all of my friends and all the people that know her, they just like love her because she's Gracie and she's just so cool and awesome and funny and her. And I've always been like, oh dang, why can't I be like that? Because I'm like so perfectionist and like business mindset and this and that, and like I'm like so afraid of like just being who I am. And like maybe I'm sure that stems from like so many childhood issues or whatever, but mindset issues. But like I don't know. I just want to be in a different place where I don't feel like that, and I just wanted to take this video, feel super freaked out and vulnerable. Like I just posted 2 TikToks, both about having one hand and one that mentioned that I smoked weed, and I'm absolutely terrified about it. And I even had talked to my life coach and told her, you know, like, oh my gosh, like I smoke weed, like, and she was like, we were talking about boundaries and like when it's appropriate to, you know, be the person, like when you don't want to cross those personal and professional boundaries. And so I really like kind of took that into account, and I was like a little nervous about talking about this stuff because I'm like, oh, like this is crossing a professional boundary because I am not a professional if I smoke weed. You know? I'm not. There's no freaking way that I can be professional in any field and be taken seriously by anyone if anybody knows that I have ever, you know, had weed in my life, ever. Like, that's just impossible. Like, even right now, as I say it again, I'm, like, terrified to say it. And I don't know. Maybe smoking weed's horrible and it's probably bad for you. But all the people I know that smoke weed are so fucking chill. And I really like hanging out with them. And I always get so relieved when I talk to somebody and I find out that they smoke weed. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, cool. Or if they have something that is different about them. Like, Gabe's younger sister, Ashley, she has, and Gabe both, they have this hair condition where they can't really grow hair. Like, it doesn't really grow past, like, you know, this length if my hair was actually this short and not back. And I don't know, like, I was kind of, like, excited because I was like, I have one hand and you can't grow hair. Like, this is so cool. Like, we can relate by that. Like, but, I get excited when I get to talk to people about these things, and it makes me feel invigorated. And so I'm like, why am I gonna hide that and, like, shove it down when all I really want is to make other people feel really confident and really good about themselves and really, like, empowered to be themselves? Like, how am I going to talk about all of this stuff if I'm so scared of what people think of me? How am I going to give somebody the best brand strategy, the best website, the best piece of art to, like, make them feel fucking good about themselves if I'm not really talking about it, if I'm not really being who I am? And I'm so scared I'll, like, post this stuff and people will be like, oh my gosh, like my family was just being like, that's, like, so dumb, but maybe they're watching this and they think it's super awesome. Like, who knows? Like, maybe some people will be like, oh my gosh, you should never talk about, you know, smoking weed on the internet because that's just, like, not allowed and it's terrifying and you can't be considered a professional, like, blah blah blah. And, you know, there's definitely people that probably feel like that, but then again, I'm thinking, like, well, do I want to work with those people? Like, well, don't I want to work with more chill people that, like, kind of, like, have the same insecurities and struggles as me? Because then I could probably help them more anyway, and we could talk about that together, and we could have, like, this brain orgasm of creative energy and awesome life. And then I started thinking about, like, well, who is my ideal client? Like, who is that person that I really, 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 really want to be working with? And I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, my current clients are so freaking awesome. Like, they're these empowered women who are also connected to their spiritual side. They're these women who are opened to learning about themselves, who are creative and who want to grow, and maybe are a little boho and a little hippy dippy, and maybe they like to smoke weed, maybe they don't. Like, you know, maybe they like to have a glass of wine in the afternoon, you know, maybe they like to, I don't know, whatever it is, and they probably have something they're self-conscious about too, and they probably want to feel pretty validated and like they can own that too. And they're probably scared about raising their prices, or they're probably scared about, you know, doing this business venture or doing this or showing up online because of X, Y, and Z. And how am I going to connect to those people? I'm probably not going to freaking connect to them by staying in my little bubble box of safety and not exploring who, you know, who I am and not just putting it out there. And maybe it will turn some people off. It probably will. But what's the worst that could happen? I don't know. Let's see. Let's just see what's the worst that could happen. I feel like if we actually were to, I don't know, I'm thinking, here's my dream. What if we just owned who we are and we were able to feel really confident about it? Like, what if that version of ourselves that we see as this, like, best possible version, this, like, dream version, like, for me, I know exactly who that is. That dream version of me is living on a beautiful house that I own on a mountain overlooking the ocean. Like, I wake up and my nails are done because, like, that feels really good to me. My skin is tan, you know, I'm walking out of the house and I can breathe, I can do yoga, and I also have this support system of clients and of people that we're growing together, where it feels like more of a spiritual, more of a deep connection, where it's not something that's so professional and scary and like, oh, this is professional and this is not, and this is this and this is that. And like, why have I separated myself into these categories of allowed, not allowed? This is okay, this is not okay. Well, I mean, you could say society, you could say, you know, whatever it is that's brought you to this moment. But I don't know, I kind of want to just change it up and see what happens. And it scares the freaking shit out of me to even consider sharing anything like this. But maybe I need to be scared. Maybe I need to take a step that I could find a million excuses for why I shouldn't take. And maybe I should just take it, you know? And this is like a brain fart, of course, but I just wanted to talk about it. I want to like open up the book. I want to write a book about it all. I want to connect with people in a different way. And I also, more than anything, I think more than anything at all, I just want us all to feel like we're really enough. Because I have such a hard time feeling like that. Like, am I enough? Am I doing enough? I bought like a freaking $3,000 Facebook ads course because I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like be doing this, I need to be doing that, I need to be doing that. And then I had like a massive anxiety attack right after because I was like, oh my gosh, why the fuck did I do that? Like, and then I was like, you know what? I did it and it's okay. And I'm definitely going to use it. And this is a good step in my business. And it was a little scary of a decision to make. And all of these moves I'm making are really, really scary. But the worst that could happen is it all fails. And the best thing that could have happened is that I took a risk and it propels me forward to this version of my life that I can see so clearly easier. And maybe a step to that is totally just embracing who I am, who I really am, without feeling so afraid. And for me, I feel like I have to talk about it all. Like, I feel like people need to understand the full context, you know? And so I wanted to make a long, lengthy blog post video about it because I just think it's important to explore. And if you decided to watch this, that's really freaking cool and awesome. And I hope we're friends. And if we're not, we are now, because this is like my deepest fears and anxiety on a freaking camera. How nice is that? Anyway, I don't really know what I'm trying to accomplish with this video, except for the fact that I just want some other people to see it and feel like they can be successful and that they can be self-conscious and also not self-conscious about their insecurities all at the same time, that they can be a fucking empowered businesswoman and they can say the F word. I'm so self-conscious about saying the F word. But probably because my son's 1.5 and I really don't want him to say it. But like, what's the worst that happens if he says it? Like, I don't know. Like, is it so horrible to say that I actually don't have all the answers in the world and I don't know exactly what I'm doing all the time? But I've trained my mindset and myself to be able to just like do these ballsy moves, to make these scary decisions, because I do think that they happen for a reason and I think that they get us somewhere for a reason. And I feel like I need to listen to myself. I need to listen to what I need to do. And I needed to make this video and share it with you guys. So here we are.